Welcome to this deep dive on accelerating wealth by sacrificing now for future financial freedom. In this video, we will unpack a practical, disciplined approach to achieve homeownership and, rich uncle, status in 4 to 8 years. We will move step by step, from building financial clarity and reverse engineering your savings rate, to boosting income, eliminating debt, and executing a rigorous plan. Let's begin by setting expectations and outlining today's roadmap. Here is today's agenda. First, we will define the mindset and trade-offs of rapid wealth building. Next, we'll walk through a practical 8-phase plan. Then we'll break down an aggressive budget, examine the fastest ways to increase income, and eliminate consumer debt. Afterward, we will visualize a 4 to 8 year timeline and run quick quizzes to reinforce learning. Finally, we will close with key tools, metrics, and actions. Now, before we dive in, let's quickly cover an important disclaimer. Before proceeding, please note this presentation is educational and not financial, tax, or legal advice. Individual circumstances, markets, and interest rates vary, so results are not guaranteed. Consult an appropriate professional for guidance tailored to your situation. With that in place, let's transition into the core strategy you will apply. Here is the core strategy. First, define your exact wealth and home target in dollars. Second, reverse engineer the monthly savings rate necessary to reach that target in 4 to 8 years. Third, commit to saving and investing roughly 40 to 50% of your take-home income, which requires eliminating most non-essential spending. Fourth, maximize your earnings by securing full professional licensing or critical certifications, and be willing to move to better-paying roles. Fifth, eliminate all consumer debt immediately to increase cash flow and borrowing power. Sixth, build value creation skills such as business development and client acquisition. Finally, accept that rapid wealth requires severe short-term discipline to unlock long-term freedom. Now let's translate this into a clear step-by-step plan. The plan unfolds in 8 phases. Phase 1 is financial clarity, in which you define the target house price, down payment, and wealth goal. Phase 2 is reverse engineering the monthly savings and investment rate required to reach those targets within 4 to 8 years. Phase 3 is implementing a budget that enables 40 to 50% savings, cutting non-essential wants, and automating transfers. Phase 4 is upgrading income by preparing for licensing or certifications during non-working hours. Phase 5 is job mobility after licensure, actively interviewing to capture compensation jumps. Phase 6 is aggressively eliminating consumer debt to free cash flow and improve borrowing capacity. Phase 7 is investing consistently using low-fee, diversified vehicles. Phase 8 is shopping for the home once you are debt-free and the timeline aligns. Next, let's look at what this budget can actually look like. Here is a representative aggressive budget based on $5,000 of monthly take-home income. Savings and investments are $2,250 or 45%. Housing is $1,100 or 22%. Utilities are $200 or 4%. Groceries are $350 or 7%. Transportation is $250 or 5%. Insurance is $200 or 4%. Wants are capped at $400 or 8%. A buffer of $250 or 5% helps absorb variability. Minimum debt payments are 0, with the goal of paying off consumer debt quickly. Total spending equals $5,000, which is 100%. With numbers in mind, let's visualize the overall timeline. This Gantt timeline shows the overlapping phases required to compress the path to wealth. The first 6 months focus on clarity and budget. The first year emphasizes licensing or certification preparation. Between years 1 and 2, job mobility should deliver compensation jumps. Debt elimination should complete as early as year 1 to 1.5. Investing continues throughout the 8 years. The house shopping window opens once consumer debt is gone, and savings targets align, typically between years 2 and 4 or later depending on local prices. Finally, the outer years focus on equity build and continued development of business development skills. Now, let's drill into income acceleration levers. The fastest earnings growth typically comes from securing the professional license or certification that increases your pay band. Use evenings and weekends for preparation to accelerate this step. After licensure, test the market aggressively and interview broadly. This often delivers the largest and quickest compensation jumps. Simultaneously, develop value creation skills such as business development, client acquisition, and upselling. Because the highest earners in most fields generate revenue. Track compensation holistically, including base pay, bonuses, benefits, and equity. Next, let's compare staying in a role versus switching. Staying offers stability, familiarity, and lower short-term risk, but it often yields slower raises tied to annual cycles and can cap perceived market value. Switching roles can reset compensation to current market rates, provide sign-on bonuses or equity, and expand your responsibilities quickly. Switching also increases negotiation leverage. Balance the trade-offs based on your risk tolerance and timing, but remember the objective is accelerated wealth. Now let's remove the drag. Consumer debt. To destroy consumer debt, list all balances and choose your strategy. The avalanche method prioritizes the highest interest rate debt to minimize total interest cost. The snowball method prioritizes the smallest balance to build psychological momentum. Automate payments and add all surplus funds to the target account. Each payoff frees up monthly cash flow, which you should immediately redirect into investing. Being debt-free before house hunting increases your borrowing power and reduces financial drag. Next, let's test your understanding with a quick quiz. Question: what is the critical first step? Options are: A. Cut all subscriptions immediately. B. Define your exact target and reverse engineer the monthly savings rate. C. Buy a house as soon as you get pre-approved. Or D. Put all cash into a single hot stock. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B. Defining your exact target and reverse engineering the monthly savings rate comes first. This provides the numerical benchmark that guides budgeting, income upgrades, and debt elimination choices. Now that we have clarity, let's sharpen the math behind the monthly target. Let's translate targets into monthly numbers. A simple sketch is monthly savings approximately equals target divided by months, which ignores investment returns. With returns, we use the future value of an annuity. Future value equals payment times the factor of open parenthesis 1 plus r close parenthesis to the n-1 divided by r. Solve that for the monthly payment. For example, to accumulate $130,000 over 60 months at approximately 0.5% per month, the annuity factor is about 69.77, leading to a required payment near $1,862. Finally, include real-world costs such as down payment, closing costs, an emergency fund, and taxes and insurance. Next, we will expand your skill map for value creation. This mind map centers on value creation as the driver of higher compensation. The business development branch covers prospecting, cold outreach, networking, and referrals to generate opportunities. The sales branch includes discovery, negotiation, and closing to convert opportunities. The marketing branch covers positioning, content, and building a personal brand that attracts demand. The delivery branch focuses on technical mastery, on-time execution, and quality results. The economics branch ensures you understand unit economics, pricing, and return on investment, so your efforts translate to measurable, bottom-line impact. Now let's take one more quiz to reinforce decision-making under constraints. Question: if your current income only supports a small starter home, what should you do? Options are: A. Buy now and hope for raises. B. Extend the timeline or drastically boost income. C. Finance everything with consumer loans. Or D. Invest less to afford more dining out. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B. Either extend the timeline or substantially increase your income to meet the target. This plan requires calibrating goals to reality, or changing your reality by boosting earnings. Now, let's consolidate the key metrics you should track. Key takeaways include: define precise targets and reverse engineer the monthly savings rate. Save and invest 40 to 50% of take-home and automate contributions. Obtain licensing or certifications quickly, and then leverage job mobility. Eliminate all consumer debt quickly. Develop value creation skills such as business development, sales, and understanding ROI. And execute these steps along a 4 to 8 year overlapping timeline so wins compound. Next, let's summarize the journey and your next actions. In summary, sacrifice is the bridge from today's grind to tomorrow's freedom. The sequence is clarity, then math, then budget, income growth, debt elimination, sustained investing, and finally, homeownership. Short-term austerity creates long-term optionality. Your durable edge is earning power and value creation. As we close, let's wrap with a final message. Thank you for watching. If this content helped, please like the video, share it with someone who needs a plan, and subscribe for more wealth-building playbooks. In the comments, share what you are willing to sacrifice now to buy more freedom later and what your 4 to 8 year target looks like.